Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the History of Fan Anime. I'm your host, William Chow, and today's episode is again another kind of a strange episode where I found some old audio clips, and I want to show you some of these audio clips with some photos, so to basically give you a reference of what some of these audio clips are. And in today's episode, these audio clips are what I refer to as radio clips. Okay, now, when anime was getting started and getting known to be a genre, it was very hard to get the word out about anime because again this is a sort of a new kind of genre that's emerging, and at this kind of moment in a conjecture in time, it wasn't readily accepted as a type of genre. Okay. The closest way I can sort of relate it to is basically, how the fans of Star Trek were referred to as, Trekkies. The fans of anime are referred to as otaku. But both of these words have almost kind of a negative sort of connotation. It was almost like, it's, if you were called a Trekkie, you're one of these nerdy, weird kind of guys, strange. And same thing with otaku. Otaku had this really, kind of a bad taste almost, as it were, because it meant that you were kind of some guy in a closet, lived in his, in his mother's basement sort of thing, and just kind of, watched hentai all day type of thing, right? So it really had this really kind of really bad sort of connotation to it. So, whenever we get a positive article in the media about anime fans and that what kind of stuff, it was now getting changed over and started to convert at this time. So I managed to find an old audio clip of an interview that I did with the CBC, which is the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation, which is a national radio station that broadcasts all across Canada, and they did a particular article about anime. And in this particular one, they did it just before an anime convention that we have here in Vancouver at one of our universities up at SFU Mountain. But in the concourse of that, during the interview, the reporter was able to basically interview me and they get a little bit more information about what all the anime was all about. So without further delay, I will play this video and hopefully give you some reference pictures to help you gauge and figure out what she's talking about. Okay.
Of course, you've heard of Trekkies. These are big fans of Star Trek who like to get dressed up as their favorite characters. Hundreds of fans of another kind are going to be at Simon Fraser University this weekend, and many of them will be in costume too, but as cartoon characters. These are people who just cannot get enough of anime, or Japanese animation. And Michelle Elliott tells us the story of some die-hard fans.
To find out more about anime, I've come to a small shop in East Vancouver. It's a bit hard to notice, nestled between old houses on a busy street. I open the doors to the long, narrow room. This is where people like Danica come to rent or buy anime. A small television set hangs on the wall. It's flickering with the image of a sinister-looking character wearing a black robe. A young girl wearing a backpack strolls in through the doors. She marches straight to the back of the store. That's where owner William Chow is sitting behind the counter. The girl has been looking hard for a particular title, and she's about to be disappointed again.
Well, looks like squirrel number 3 has been signed out.
Again?
Well, either that or it hasn't been returned yet.
Do you know when the Volume 3 will be returned?
Check here. 16, so Thursday?
Thursday.
It appears anime is popular with people of all ages. Over in one aisle, Carrie Lau is studying the covers of some DVDs.
Well, I come in here about twice a week. I walk out with maybe 2 DVDs. It's an addiction, but sometimes I walk out with 4 DVDs and watch them from 9 o'clock till about 4 in the morning.
Okay. Get your bed there?
1802.
William Chow rings up a customer's order. The walls of videos stacked on shelves around him show how much anime has grown.
Yeah, I think we're etching over 5,000, 6,000 now. I remember when I was in my first store, I thought, wow, this is a tape rack that goes to the ceiling, and it's, oh my God, I mean, now I'm up to like 3, 4 shelves that go to the ceiling. And
for fans, anime is like a daytime soap opera. As the story continues, viewers are hungry for the next episode. William Chow picks up one popular DVD from a shelf.
One called GTO, Great Teacher Onizuka, who when he was going to high school, he was, drinks, he smokes, part of the gangs and all this other stuff. And then basically when he graduated, he decided to turn a new leaf and he decided to become a teacher. It tells of basically all his various different hardships with his students. They find it, both a little bit, comical, but they also kind of curious, how does he get himself into these sort of situations and how does he get himself out?
Once a month, Chow brings together fans to a local college to watch anime for hours. This film is playing on a big screen. People are sitting in a dark auditorium and they're watching intently. At intermission time, I meet 2 teenagers wearing t-shirts and baseball caps.
Glenn Reed.
And yourself?
Nathan Holmes. In general, I like it because it's like different from other stuff, like different culture and all that.
I like it because like every month is different. Like they'll have themes. Like say in April, I think they have which one is Valentine's Day?
I think that's February.
February? Yeah, in February they have like a Valentine's Day theme. So every month is sort of different.
The word in anime is otaku. It's basically a person that's an avid fan who may have a very large video library of something. A person who lives, breathes, and drinks anime, I guess.
Outside in the hallway, William Chow is sitting at a desk littered with flyers about anime. He says the contingent of die-hard fans is growing.
We already have more well-known, more well-accepted subcultures like Star Trekkies or Star Wars type of people. They do all the same things. Whenever I go to conventions, you'll see people dressed up in Star Trek uniforms, and you'll see people dressed up in as Jedis and that kind of stuff. But I think anime pretty well has a very similar subculture.
This weekend, anime fans will get a taste of just how many of them there are. Upwards of 1,000 people are expected at BC's first Anime Evolution convention. For BC Almanac, I'm Michelle Elliott.
Thanks very much, Michelle. And Anime Evolution is running all weekend at Simon Fraser in Burnaby. You can check out Anime Evolution at their website, ANIME Evolution.com. It's 20 before 1 o'clock on CBC Radio.
Okay, so that was the clip that they aired on the air on the CBC, and it covers how anime was and the state of anime was at this particular time. Now I'd like to pull out 2 clips that I found that where I participated in national radio shows. I've basically kept some of the audio bits I have, and what I like to do is I like to participate in a lot of sports radio programs all across the nation. And so the first clip that I've got here is when Tony Bruno is with Harry Mays on a radio station in Philadelphia, and they had an article that they were doing, which was called Beast Mode, Least Mode. Okay, so basically they're talking about players of sports that either overachieved or underachieved in their particular sport. Okay, and they wanted you to use your Twitter to basically send in ideas and what you thought was the beast mode of the week, and obviously the least mode of the week. And so my Twitter handle is of course the king of Smut 95. All right. So I'll put my suggestion in, and you have to also imagine that at this time on their radio show, they apparently had some younger school kids going through their radio station on a tour of the radio station, right? So you can imagine, they're going through and they're doing their radio show, and they're getting ready to do this, this bit on their radio station, and of course, they're going through the entries, and of course, they come to my entry, and of course, so you can imagine, all these little kids are looking through the window of the radio station broadcasting booth there, and they're all looking. Oh, okay, this is what radio looks like, and this is how it works. And of course, they got the speaker up there, announcing what's going across the airwaves. And of course, they get to my entry. So, I won't give it away. I'll let you listen to it, and you can just imagine all these kids looking through a window, going, "Oh, okay, this is how it works, right?" And then, of course, this happens.
All right, Joe, you ready? We got good questions?
Yeah, we got some good questions. And the first one comes from William Chow, who is at King of Smut 95 on Twitter. Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, man.
He must be a close personal friend of Harry's.
Young kids in the house today, Joe.
One thing about the lightning round, these Twitter handlers, man, it's unbelievable what kind of names they throw out.
Hey, it's why Twitter exists.
Who is the biggest underachiever of the week? Sidney Crosby, Papelbon, or Chris Paul?
Wow, that's a good question.
Well, Chris Paul has yet to be eliminated yet.
Yes.
Sidney Crosby is playing golf today because he underachieved.
Yep.
He's the best player in the sport. Without question, it's Sidney Crosby.
I totally agree, Harry. Not because I hate the Penguins. If Sidney Crosby was a Flyer, we'd love him. Yeah. Let's be real.
So yes, you can probably imagine after that's going, what does smut mean? So anyway, that was one of the examples, and so that was one of the examples I had that I remember. And I have a second clip here. This is when I was live feed for the Tony Bruno or Bruno Nation Live show, and again, recognition of my handle that I got there. Now, people are always wondering, okay, well, other than all the various different sports things that Tony Bruno does, some of you gamer fans will remember the name. If you've ever played Madden 2005, he is the voice, the radio voice in that particular game. For all the players and that kind of stuff. So again, if you recognize that voice, that is where he comes from. Okay, so in fact, a little bit of a shout out from Tony Bruno.
The King of Smut. I mean, when you have followers like the King of Smut 95, you know these are the best people. Good people on all sides listening to the show. How can you not respect the King of Smut, Robin?
All right, so I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And so what you want to do right now is go down below. You want to click like and you want to click subscribe, okay? And then you get more of these episodes when I make them, okay? So, until next time, see you again.